Hello, and welcome. Most people think keeping a sharp mind after 60 is all about doing crossword puzzles and Sudoku. While those are fine hobbies, the real story, the one supported by a mountain of research, is that our simple, daily physical habits have a much bigger and more direct impact on our brain health. This isn't just about remembering where you put your keys or winning at a trivia game. This is about the core of your independence. It's about feeling confident managing your own finances, staying fully engaged in conversations with your family, and feeling secure and capable in your own home for years to come. A healthy brain is the foundation of a vibrant, active life. In this video, we're going to walk through 4 simple, science-backed habits that support your memory, focus, and overall cognitive function. I'll explain exactly how each one works inside your body, in plain English, without any confusing jargon. We'll count them down from 4 to 1, because the last one is the habit most people completely overlook, yet studies suggest it might be the most powerful of all. So please, stay with me until the very end, because I'll also share a simple action plan you can start using this very evening. My promise to you is no scare tactics, just clear, practical guidance on what large studies suggest can make a real difference. And as always, a reminder of when it's wise to have a chat with your doctor. It's completely normal to have concerns about memory and focus as we get older. You are not alone in that. If you'd like to be part of a community that focuses on straightforward, empowering health information, please consider subscribing. And in the comments below, I'd love to hear one thing you already do to keep your mind feeling active. All right, let's begin with our countdown. Coming in at number 4 is a habit that feels good for the soul and acts like a workout for the brain. Habit number 4, the social snack. We often think of brain health in terms of diet or exercise, but meaningful connection with other people is one of the most complex and beneficial activities for your mind. When you have a real conversation, your brain is firing on all cylinders. It has to listen, process language, interpret tone of voice and body language, search your memory for relevant information, and then formulate a thoughtful response, all in a matter of seconds. Here's the simple mechanism. This complex mental workout builds what scientists call cognitive reserve. Think of it like a backup generator for your brain. The more connections and pathways you build through activities like socializing, the more resilient your brain becomes. If one pathway becomes a bit slow or damaged, your brain has plenty of other routes it can use to get the job done. Meaningful connection also helps lower our levels of cortisol, the primary stress hormone. Over long periods, high cortisol can be toxic to the delicate cells in our brain's memory center. The scenario might feel familiar. Perhaps you've noticed that keeping up with a fast-moving group conversation feels more draining than it used to. Or maybe you find yourself turning down invitations because the effort of putting yourself out there just feels like too much. This is a gentle signal from your brain that it needs a bit more of this specific kind of exercise. So, here is your micro-coaching. First, aim for one social snack every day. This doesn't have to be a big party. It can be a simple, 10-minute phone call with a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, a friendly chat with the cashier at the grocery store, or a video call with a grandchild. The goal is a moment of genuine, back-and-forth connection. Second, consider joining a low-pressure group that shares one of your interests. This could be a local walking club, a gardening group, a book club, or even a volunteer organization. When there's a shared activity, it takes the pressure off of having to make constant small talk, and the conversation can flow more naturally around a topic you all enjoy. And third, remember that quality trumps quantity. One deep, heartfelt conversation with a loved one can do more for your brain's health and your spirit than a dozen superficial hellos. It's the engagement that matters. If you find that you're consistently withdrawing from social situations that you used to love, and it's beginning to affect your mood, that's a good reason to bring it up with your doctor. It's always worth a conversation. Now, let's move on to what fuels the brain itself. Habit number 3, the brain food plate. Your brain is an incredibly hungry organ. It weighs only about 3 pounds, but it uses up to 20% of your body's total calories and oxygen. What you put on your plate directly and immediately affects its ability to function, not just in the long term, but hour by hour. There are two simple mechanisms at play here. The first is inflammation. Think of chronic, low-grade inflammation as a very low fire that's always smoldering in your body. This smoldering fire can, over time, damage the lining of your blood vessels, including the thousands of tiny, delicate vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to every part of your brain. Certain foods, particularly processed foods and those high in sugar, act like kindling on this fire. Other foods, especially plants, act like water, helping to cool it down. The second mechanism is blood sugar stability. When you eat a meal full of refined carbohydrates, like white bread or a sugary pastry, your blood sugar spikes dramatically. Your body then releases a flood of insulin to handle it, which often causes your blood sugar to crash a short while later. For your brain cells, this roller coaster is incredibly stressful. It's like a series of power surges and brownouts in a city's electrical grid, leaving your brain cells fatigued and struggling to communicate effectively. A common scenario where you can feel this is that classic mid-afternoon brain fog. You're sitting in your chair, trying to read a book or pay bills, and your mind just feels fuzzy and slow. You can't seem to find the right word, and your focus is gone. This often happens a couple of hours after a lunch that was heavy on starchy or sugary foods. Now, this is a good moment to bust a common myth. You have probably seen headlines about a specific superfood, like blueberries or walnuts, that is supposed to magically reverse memory loss. While those foods are wonderfully healthy, no single food is a silver bullet. The real power isn't in eating one specific thing. It's in the overall pattern of what you eat day in and day out. A consistently healthy plate will always beat a rare superfood binge. So here's your micro-coaching for building a brain-healthy plate, based on principles from well-researched eating patterns like the Mind Diet. First, make your goal a plate that is dominated by colorful plants. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and romaine are superstars. Berries of all kinds, fresh or frozen, are packed with compounds that help cool that inflammatory fire. Aim to have a vegetable or fruit with every single meal. Second, feed your brain the right kind of fats. Your brain is structurally made of about 60% fat, so the type you eat truly matters. Make extra virgin olive oil your main cooking oil. Snack on a small handful of unsalted nuts, like walnuts or almonds. And try to get some fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, or mackerel, onto your plate once or twice a week. These are rich in the omega-3 fat called DHA, which is a primary building block of your brain cells. And third, be mindful of the white stuff. This means white bread, white rice, sugary cereals, and pastries. These are the main culprits behind those blood sugar spikes. An easy swap is choosing whole grain bread instead of white, or having a bowl of oatmeal with berries for breakfast instead of a sugary cereal. If you're looking for budget-friendly options, remember that frozen fruits and vegetables are just as nutritious as fresh ones, and they are often much more affordable and won't spoil. Canned salmon or sardines are also excellent, low-cost sources of those crucial brain-healthy fats. If you're finding these practical tips useful, a quick tap on the subscribe button helps our community grow and ensures you won't miss our future videos on staying healthy and strong. Let's move on to a habit that energizes both your body and your mind. Habit number 2, the 10-minute move. For decades, we were told that exercise was for heart health or weight management. But in recent years, scientists have discovered that physical activity may be one of the most effective things you can do to maintain a sharp, healthy brain as you age. When you move your body, you are directly triggering the release of chemicals that protect and grow your brain. Here's how it works, and it's truly remarkable. When your muscles contract during activity, they release a special protein into your bloodstream. It's called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF for short. You can think of BDNF as miracle grow for your brain cells. When it reaches your brain, it helps existing neurons survive. It encourages the growth of new ones, and it helps them form stronger connections with each other. This is the physical process of learning and memory formation. The other key mechanism is simple blood flow. When you get your heart rate up, even just a little, you are pumping more oxygen-rich blood to your brain. It's like turning up the water pressure in the pipes that feed a garden. This increased flow delivers more nutrients and clears out waste products more efficiently, creating a healthier environment for your brain cells to thrive. The real-life scenario might be a feeling of being mentally stuck. Maybe you're trying to solve a simple problem, like planning your errands for the week, and your thoughts just feel sluggish and disorganized. Or perhaps you just feel a general lack of mental energy. This is often linked to being physically stagnant for too long. Your brain is literally waiting for that rush of blood flow and that dose of BDNF. So, here is your practical micro-coaching. First, embrace the 10-minute rule. You do not need to train for a marathon to get these brain benefits. Large studies have shown that even a single 10-minute session of brisk walking can improve focus and problem-solving skills almost immediately. Try to find 2 or 3 of these 10-minute slots in your day. You could walk around the block after breakfast, walk in place while watching the news, and do another short walk in the late afternoon. Second, add a little bit of complexity to your movement when you can. This challenges your brain even more. For example, instead of just walking on a flat, smooth sidewalk, try walking on a nature trail with slight inclines and uneven ground. This forces your brain to constantly adjust your balance and coordination. Dancing to music is another fantastic option because you have to coordinate your body's movements with the rhythm. Even gardening, which involves bending, reaching, and fine motor skills, is a great brain and body workout. And third, please remember that chair exercises absolutely count. If you have mobility challenges or balance concerns, you can still get enormous benefits. Seated marching, raising your arms overhead, and doing leg lifts will get your heart pumping and the blood flowing. The goal is simply purposeful movement, whatever that looks like for you. As a crucial safety note, please talk with your doctor before starting any new exercise routine, especially if you have a heart condition, diabetes, or other chronic issues. Start slow and listen to your body. And now, we arrive at number 1. This is the habit that underpins all the others. Without it, the benefits of good nutrition, social life, and even exercise are dramatically reduced. It is the single most overlooked and perhaps the most critical habit for brain health after 60. Habit number 1, the deep sleep reset. We tend to think of sleep as a passive state of rest, a time when the body and brain simply shut down. But modern science has revealed that our brains are incredibly active during sleep, performing essential maintenance that is impossible to do during our waking hours. The mechanism here is truly fascinating. It's called the glymphatic system. Think of your brain as a bustling city. All day long, as your brain cells work hard, they produce metabolic waste products, just like a city produces trash. During the day, there's no good way to clear this trash out. But when you fall into the deep, restorative stages of sleep, something amazing happens. Your brain cells actually shrink slightly, opening up channels between them. A clear liquid called cerebrospinal fluid then surges through these channels, acting like a powerful cleaning crew, washing away all the metabolic waste that accumulated during the day. This nightly cleanup is absolutely critical. One of the specific waste products it clears away is a protein called beta amyloid, which is the main component of the amyloid plaques that researchers believe are a key factor in the development of Alzheimer's disease. If you don't consistently get enough high-quality, deep sleep, this cleanup process is incomplete. The trash can start to build up night after night, year after year, impairing communication between brain cells. You might recognize the scenario. It's not just about feeling tired. It's waking up after a full 8 hours in bed, but still feeling foggy and groggy, like your brain never really booted up properly. It's finding yourself more reliant on sticky notes and lists to remember simple daily tasks. It can also manifest as feeling more irritable or emotionally fragile, as a sleep-deprived brain has a much harder time regulating emotions. Here is your micro-coaching to protect and prioritize this vital reset. First, create a wind-down hour. In the last 60 minutes before you plan to go to sleep, your mission is to signal to your brain that the day is over. Dim the lights in your home. And most importantly, turn off bright screens. This means the television, your computer, your tablet, and your phone. The blue spectrum light from these devices is particularly powerful at tricking your brain into thinking it's still midday, which suppresses the release of melatonin, your natural sleep hormone. Instead, read a physical book, listen to some calm music, do some gentle stretching, or take a warm bath or shower. Second, work towards a consistent sleep schedule. Try your best to go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time each day, even on weekends. This helps to set your body's internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm. When your body knows when to expect sleep, it becomes much more efficient at moving through the sleep cycles, ensuring you get enough of that crucial deep sleep stage. And third, be smart about naps. A short nap of about 20 to 30 minutes in the early afternoon can be wonderfully restorative for many people. However, napping for too long or napping too late in the afternoon can make it much more difficult to fall asleep at night. If you're struggling with nighttime sleep, it might be worth cutting back on naps to build up more sleep pressure for the evening. And a very important red flag line. If you consistently snore very loudly, if a partner has told you that you stop breathing or gasp for air in your sleep, or if you feel profound exhaustion every day despite spending plenty of hours in bed, please ask your doctor about getting checked for sleep apnea. It is an extremely common and very treatable condition that can have a major impact on brain health. So, where do we go from here? It can feel like a lot to take in, but it all comes down to a few simple, powerful ideas. Your brain's health is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of daily habits. Meaningful connection, a colorful plate of food, purposeful movement, and protected sleep. These are the 4 pillars. This isn't about achieving perfection. It is about making small, consistent choices that build on each other over time. You have tremendous power to influence how your brain ages. Here is your simple action plan to get started this week. First, pick just one of these 4 habits to focus on. Don't try to change everything at once. Maybe this week, your goal is simply to have one 10-minute walk each day. Or maybe it's to turn off the TV an hour before bed. Start small. Second, use the 20-second self-check. At the end of each day, just before bed, take a moment and quietly ask yourself, did I have a moment of genuine connection today? Did I move my body with purpose? Did I eat something green? Am I setting myself up for a good night's rest? This simple check-in isn't for judgment. It's for building awareness. And third, track your energy and your mood. Before you even notice big changes in memory, you'll likely notice you have a bit more mental energy in the afternoon, or that your mood feels more stable. These are the first signs that you are giving your brain exactly what it needs to thrive. I'll link some excellent, plain language sources from trusted institutions in the description below if you'd like to read more. In the comments below, I would be so grateful if you would share which of these 4 habits you plan to focus on first. Your choice might just be the inspiration someone else in our community needs to get started. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider sharing it with a friend or family member who might benefit from this information. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next video. Thank you so much for your time today. Take good care, and we'll see you again soon.